Shit. And we are live, fellas, on episode number 6 of Punch Drunk Podcast. I have 2 special guests and best friends here with me today. This episode is going to be brought to you by Miles Moffett Construction. For all your crack filling, seal coating, line striping needs, hit him up. That's the guy. He's our jiu-jitsu professor, and he's got great work. So if you need any of that done for your local business, make sure you hit my guy Miles Moffett up. So don't have Nosa today, unfortunately. Nosa, he had work. Too busy for today's episode, but I do have here on my left my
unfortunately
we
had to step in.
Unfortunately, it's gonna be actually a great episode though. I can't wait. I'm just pissed that Nos is gonna miss this one.
Yeah.
So on my left here we got Anthony Jackson, Chunky. Yeah, there actually is a button for that. I just don't know which one it is.
Press all of them.
I think it's the top right, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so Chunky is in my corner. He's one of my coaches. He's my best friend. He's been with me for probably about 2 years now, I'd say. Yeah. Multiple fights. So this is the guy right here. And then on my right is one of my number 1 training partners, roommate slash what else are we gonna call Dan? Slash my
MMA nerd.
My dictionary, my life dictionary. So everything I need. This is Dan. He's the MMA guru. He's one of our purple belts.
Come to me for your picks.
Picks? Oh, for the fight picks. For the fight picks. I was like, what are we talking about? Nudes here? Like what?
No. maybe.
Nah, but this is Dano. Dan's leaving us here soon, so I thought, why not throw him on the episode for a great one. He's got a great story. He's been in the game for a long time, longer than me actually, which is pretty crazy. So it's gonna be a good one. So we got golfer. The pro golfer here on my left, and we got the jiu-jitsu for lifer on my right.
Tiger Hood, baby.
Straight out the project.
What was your best score today out of the 10 games you played?
Is it? I shot an 89, baby.
Woo-hoo. Okay.
What about the first one?
The first one was 89. The second was a 92.
Okay.
So, and I only been playing.
That's cute.
Barely over a year, so that's actually really, really good.
Golf is the only thing I've ever experienced that's harder than fighting.
Literally.
Yeah.
For me,
golf's hard as shit.
I play every sport, man. Golf, nothing like it.
Yeah, and you're good at it.
Yeah.
I'm you're getting there. You got the work ethic behind it.
Yeah, I'm decent.
How much of that right hook do you get into that swing?
A lot of it.
The hand of death.
It helps sometimes with my drive,
We should all go golfing one time. Like me, you, Brandon, Dan, Jake.
I'll come for
Juice.
the drinks.
Yeah, I like to get drunk. I just throw in clubs and I suck. I can't keep track.
Today, I was literally thinking about it today. I was like, yeah, this would actually be really fun if I had Taylor and everybody here.
We all just
you guys should have
get teams going or some shit.
Yeah, we should have like a gym golf charity tournament.
We should. That would be so fun.
Okay.
Because we don't have to take it serious. We can just be drinking.
Dude,
I don't take golf serious. I don't take golf serious.
You can't.
I can't. I mean, I lose count after 150. It's like.
Listen, I remember the first time I ever played golf with Taylor. Oh my god, yo! Listen, this dude was on the green, yo. He
like probably 10 times.
He 10 putted on hole 1.
Bro, when we used to play mini golf growing up, I was so bad, and my parents wanted to be nice to me that they said, "Yeah, if you get the highest score, you win."
You win?
I won every game, motherfucker.
Shit, I destroyed y'all, man. I destroyed y'all
because I was so bad at mini golf. They're like, "Yeah, the higher the score, the better you do." And I was like, "Yo, fucking Rory McIlroy up in this bitch."
Listen, I ain't gonna lie, yo. It was so funny though watching Taylor play because Taylor's used to just punching stuff. So watching him focus on hitting the ball. Yo,
and then when I completely miss that bitch too, when I'm trying to wedge it or chip it, I'm just like, oh, here. It just goes through. Nothing flies. All you see is grass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, I got to reline up. I'm like, this is on purpose.
Yeah.
Go up for the next one. Swing and miss.
You remember hole 2 that time we played? You said, yo, I know what to do. He actually got up there and hit a really good drive. Remember that?
That was the only good one the rest of the day. So I said, see, I told you the next hole.
Got in the zone for that one.
He started playing chip from bunker to bunker. That's all.
Drop ball. That's all I was playing. Drop the ball, hit it.
Yeah, that was funny.
All right, so Dan, you have been. How long you been training in? Well, not just MMA, but let's just consider martial arts as a whole. What has it been 7 years?
It started the same day. Yeah. So
We started the same day. I thought you started S curve, dude.
No, I'm saying I started. I only started with jujitsu, like martial arts. Like my brother was an American Taekwondo like black belt as a kid. That was like all he did. I wasn't interested in that at the time because I wasn't cool yet. You know? Yeah. So I walked into a gym for the first time up in New York, up in Long Island.
Can you beat your brother up?
Now I can, yeah. Bro, dude, you gotta understand, my brother has like fucking crazy power. I don't know where he gets it from, but he used to tell me stories like he would hang out with like rough crowds and stuff and be around a lot of people, and he'd get into a lot of street fights, and he said like, yeah, you break out the Taekwondo stance and throw like 1 or 2 leg kicks. He said all these people would back down and be like, you know what, you win.
So he's a scrappy dude. He's
dude,
okay.
He could beat like if he lands one punch and he can knock you out. He's got crazy power.
Do you think you still would have got into it if your brother didn't do it?
Oh yeah. No, so I got into it. Ironically, I was a collegiate track athlete at Salisbury. I used to be like 60 pounds lighter. I was a stick. I did track and cross country my whole life. That was my like dream, was to be like really good at track, be like crazy endurance athlete, sub 4 miler and stuff. And then I got to college, and it's just like after my freshman year, I just didn't like it anymore. And instead of quitting then, I was like, well, maybe I'm going to give it another year. And I did, and then it made me hate it even more. Yeah. And I like stuck it out the whole time. And then I got to like May 2017, and I was like, man, like, you know, I was just gonna try to find that love again. And then I made a post about this the other day, actually, on my Instagram. I got like 2 days in the summer training, or a couple weeks in, and I was the type of guy where I never skipped a day. I was so dedicated. I think I could count on 2 hands in like 5 years the amount of times where I was like, I'm just not training today. Yeah. And then it got to the point where I was doing my summer training for college cross country, and I got 10 minutes into an hour-long run. I stopped and I walked home because I was just, I don't know, I just didn't have it anymore. And I was just like,
you walked right out of practice.
Well, I was at home, so I was training by myself for like 2 months until I got back to college. I was like, you know what, I'm just not feeling it today. And then I didn't train for 3 weeks straight. Every single day I said, no, I just don't feel like it.
You were already doing jiu-jitsu at this time, correct?
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
That was before I made the decision. So I was watching, ironically, on YouTube. I don't even know how the fuck I found this video. It was a Fedor Emelianenko highlight reel. Oh, wow. So Fedor Emelianenko, Pride, considered one of the MMA goats, like heavyweight goat. Yeah. Pride heavyweight champion, the last one. WAMA MMA champion. So I didn't even know what MMA really was. Like I like kind of followed it, yeah. But I saw one of his highlight reels on YouTube. I was like watching like motivational videos. I was like, fuck, this dude's sick. Yeah. Like this dude's so cool. Like after a 10-minute video, I was like looking up all of his fights, yeah. And I just dove into it. I was like, this dude's so fucking cool. He's beating up all these guys that are way bigger than him. And I just dove straight into it. And I was like, this guy's so cool. I want to do what he's doing. And that's all I thought about going into it. And then, so that was March, April, May 2017. And then June 2017, being a New Yorker, we have Madison Square Garden. There's a lot of MMA events there.
You from New York or something?
Strong Island, baby. Suffolk County. That's it. 631. But so Fedor was actually fighting at Madison Square Garden in June. He fought Matt Mitrione. Oh, wow. He got knocked out.
Is this Bellator?
Yeah, it was Bellator. It was the Bellator's only pay-per-view event. They never did one after.
Really?
Yeah. That was the only one they ever did.
They never charged for their fights?
No, so this was the one they did, and then they were like, fuck, let's never do that again.
Wow. I never knew that. I thought Bellators you still had to pay for.
Yeah, so ironically, that was back when Michael Chandler was in Bellator too, so I watched him fight too. He lost. He had like ankle drop from leg kicks, which back then we thought it was an injury, and now it's like, oh, it's like actually like legit strategy. Everyone fucking does it now. Yeah. So I went there to go watch Fedor fight. I didn't give a fuck about anything else, but I was like, all right, well, I'm spending like $100 for these tickets. I might as well just watch. So I went early.
That's not bad for MSG.
Oh yeah, no, it was nosebleeds though. That was all I could afford.
But still, I mean, nosebleeds now at MSG, you're talking about 400, 300 or 400.
Yeah. Dude, I lied to my boss about why I was going there. I said, yeah, I'm going to this MMA event with my dad. My dad was not there. I just fucking went on the train. Went on the train, went there. And ironically, I knew a little bit of like some MMA guys, but one that I knew was Matt Serra, who's Long Islander, UFC champion, beat George St. Pierre. Yeah. Crazy upset. So a guy on the train was wearing a Matt Serra jiu-jitsu shirt, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I started talking to him randomly on the station. I was like, oh, where'd you get that? Like, you know, I know who that is. he's like, oh, I'm a black belt instructor of his. Like, I work for him. I was like, oh shit. So we started talking, and he said, like, have you ever thought about like doing jujitsu? And I was like, yeah, I kind of thought about it. Like, and then we were talking. I was telling him my background, how I was really like not happy with like cross country and track. And then he was like, oh, I think you should give it a shot. Like, his gym was very far away from me where I was, probably like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I went to like my local gym instead.
Isn't Matt Serra from Long Island?
Yeah, he's from Nassau County. So it's separate in the middle. It's Suffolk and Nassau.
It's that far away in the same county?
Yeah, we have two
Holy
counties
shit.
on the island.
That's crazy. An hour and a half in the same county?
Yeah.
That
So
is-
I live all the way at the end. So go backing up though, so that was on the train. I went into MSG, which ironically, this story is pretty funny that I went around this. I'm a New Yorker that really didn't explore the city that much. So Penn Station, where you come in, is right underneath Madison Square Garden. I came up, didn't know where the fuck the entrance
Start
was.
walking around looking for it. He's right underneath
I
it.
was lost as fuck.
Yeah.
So I go around a corner, I see like those fucking lines, and I see a carpet, and I was like, I guess this is the side entrance. It was the VIP entrance to the building. I was like, I guess kind of dressed like nice for the event, and they just let me in. They're like, oh yeah. So I got all the way to like deep in Madison Square Garden. I was like fucking like in like these garages and shit.
Oh my
And they're like in front of me, ironically, in retrospect, was the guy, Brent Primus, who beat Michael Chandler that night. He was in front of me. And I was like, why is this guy coming in like the general entrance? He should be in VIP. I was in fucking VIP.
Yeah, that's funny.
He's where he was where Connor where Khabib took a shit on the
Probably.
bus. He was like
Dude,
he was
straight
in the garage. The fighters are getting off the bus from the hotel.
So I fucking walk in, and then eventually we got to the security checkpoint. I'm just like chilling. And this guy comes up to me. He's like, oh, can I see your like wristband? And I was like, oh, I showed him my ticket on my phone. And he was just like, oh, can you follow him right here? And so I followed him. He took me to the staff elevator. And we went all the way up, and it took us to like right where we were in Madison Square Garden. And dude, it felt like a fucking movie. So I walk out, and like MSG is huge.
Yeah.
So it just feels like it engulfs you here. And then there was this song playing, and there was one of the prelim fights on. And then I was like, this is like a fucking movie, man.
Yeah.
And I just watch, and there's fights, I don't even know who the fuck these people are. And I'm like getting so into it.
Yeah.
And then just as the event goes on, it's like a high for me, man. Like, I'm all the way at the nosebleeds, which are the cheap seats. And I still remember there was a title fight. It was Ryan Bader versus Phil Davis. Probably one of the worst fights I've ever seen. But
That's Chandler's coach now, right?
yeah. Ryan Bader, yeah. So Bader got punched by Phil Davis, or Bader punched Phil Davis, one of the two. I just remember, even from all the way up in the nosebleeds, him getting punched in the face and all the sweat just fucking just hitting off his head. Like, you could see it from up there. And I was like, dude, this is sick.
Phil Davis. Phil Davis is the.
He used to be in the UFC. He was a wrestler.
He black guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think his nickname was Mr. Wonderful, I think. But he was really good. He left.
Wonderful. You know, Mr. Wonderful is Shark Tank.
Yeah, so he left and then went to Bellator. I think they were offering more money, but he was really good. Yeah. And then Michael Chandler fought Brent Primus. There was a bunch of fights, and then it was one of Connor's guys, James Gallagher, fought. He won. That was like, I think, his second or third Bellator fight. And then I got to the main event. It was two main events. The first was Fedor versus Mitrione, which I still remember the entrance. Fedor coming out, and it was like, if you could compare it, it was like watching LeBron like come out, or like watching Jordan, or like someone that's like the best.
Yeah.
Like, I got chills.
Yeah.
And then he got knocked out in a minute, and it was fucking sad. I was like, that's my fucking hero, bro.
Where was the UFC during this time? Was this the Connor area yet?
This was 3 months before he fought Mayweather.
Oh shit! So this
Yeah.
was like late. This was like with the Reeboks pickup and shit.
Yeah, so this
Okay.
was 2017.
Okay.
And then the other main event was Chael Sonnen versus Wanderlei Silva, which was cool. And I took the train. I left after the main event, and as I'm walking in Penn Station, you gotta understand, New York City is 19 million people.
Yeah.
Long Island, 3 million people. It's just fuck ton of people in this area. As I'm leaving, I run into the same instructor from Matt Serra's, and we just looked at each other, and he started smiling. He said, "You like it?" And I said, "Yeah." And we
Dan was like, I just saw the coolest thing ever.
dude, it was nothing like it, man. And then, he was like, oh yeah, you should give it a shot. So I walked into the first gym I ever trained at, was Vamos MMA up in Long Island, Alexander Vamos. And then it was just an addiction from there, man. I sucked.
Yeah.
Dude, I would, because I stopped running at the time too. I quit the team, and I would lift drive 30 minutes to this MMA gym, do a jiu-jitsu class, do another jiu-jitsu class, and then do a kickboxing class. And I didn't know shit. So I got fucked up by everybody for like 2 months. And I can still remember, like, probably my favorite jiu-jitsu memory are those drives, like 35-minute drives. I live out in the middle of nowhere up there, back home, where I just got fucked up by everyone. And I was like, this is sick. I still remember the first submission I got was a fucking guillotine. I didn't even know how to do it. I just squeezed.
You ride home, no music with a boner. You're just like,
dude, I had
God.
the windows down, man. It was like the fucking time of my life, man. And then it just went on from there. And then once I went back to college, I gave it like a few weeks break. And then I came back and I walked in the South Side for the first time. And I met everybody there. And I remember that too. I thought like, oh, like, you know, I might be able to beat some people here. Yeah. I did. I got fucked up even worse. But then from there, man, the addiction grew. I watched every single fucking fight, every single pay-per-view. It's just not comparable, man. It's just so exciting. And I was like, it's kind of like, this is what I was meant to do. Like, this is like, well, I thought that I was meant to run and like meant to be a collegiate athlete, like distance athlete. But then once I had that experience, it was like, no, that was like the setup for this. Yeah. So it's just wild
I like
ride
your
ever
story.
since.
The train, like it's like a movie, like like Mike or something. Like my man's just like saw this shit on TV on YouTube, goes and buys tickets for the train.
Yeah.
Dude,
Sneaks out of the house, sneaks out of his job,
and
goes,
at the time,
goes and watches the fight by himself, just in the crowd.
Dude, at the time too, like I didn't really even watch the UFC. Like I watched the Tough season with Cody and TJ, but that was it. And then after that, when I went to that Bellator card, I was like, I'm gonna start watching UFC, and I'm like, oh damn, these are like the first fight that I ever watched that was a main event. It was Justin Gaethje versus Michael Johnson, where they beat the fuck out of each other for 2 rounds.
Michael Johnson was a dog back then.
That fight is like it's like a future Hall of Fame fight. Mm-hmm. And that was the first event I watched, and I was like, oh yeah, fucking watching this shit every week, you know?
Yeah.
And then went to Southside, and then once I still remember when I had to tell this fucking story on the podcast too. When I was first started out, we were at he knows what I'm gonna fucking say too. We're at a jiu-jitsu tournament, right? This is like March 2018, and I was
this
there.
shit was crazy, bro.
It was
the first time I ever met Dan.
So it was I was at a New Breed tournament across the bridge, and that was at the time where Southside was its own thing and SBY was its own thing with Brandon, and fucking I had for a Halloween costume, I bought the Reebok UFC shorts. Right. Yeah. I just bought them for the costume, and then I used them for no-gi because I was like, well, I don't have anything else.
Right.
So I'm at this tournament. I'm in this match, and I found this out after the fact. Taylor goes to Brandon. He's like, "Yo, was that guy in the UFC?" Because I'm wearing the fucking UFC shorts.
I remember being like, "Yo, how'd he get them shorts?" Yo,
like,
with that guy,
is he a fighter? And then you said tell the next part.
Brandon was just like, "That's Dan." Or that's
but
Dan.
then he said, Taylor, does he look like a UFC fighter? I was down 20 points in the match. Do you know how hard it is? I was down 27-2.
Yo, Dan has the most legendary jiu-jitsu comeback, and probably of all time. Yeah. Dan was losing. I've never even seen the score. I've always looked for this. Every tournament I've ever been to since, I always look for somebody to be losing by this many points.
Dude, do you understand how hard it is?
33. It was 33.
27-2. So do you understand how hard that is?
He had 33 when you subbed him, bro. I saw it.
So it's 33-2 then. Yeah. Do you know how hard that is?
Yeah.
He subbed him with 20 seconds, bro.
That's like,
bro, 20 seconds.
That's like in a baseball game being down 40 runs. Like you're getting fucked up.
Bro hit a straight up. I'm like, yo, I'm sitting there turning around. I'm like, damn, I looked at Brandon. I said, "Yeah, he don't look that good, right?" then next thing you know, everybody's like, "Oh shit, oh shit!" And I turn around. Dan's got a triangle locked up on this dude. I'm like,
"Yeah, he got cocky, bro."
30 points.
You know what's funny
about grappling? That's insane, dude.
I don't even fucking. At the time, I didn't even fucking know how to do a triangle. I just got it. I think I learned it like the day before.
He had a Boba Fett rash guard.
Yeah,
I remember asking. I was like, "Where'd you get that rash guard?"
So I got him with a triangle with like 20 seconds left.
Who was you a part of then?
Southside, yeah. And
then Brandon trained at Southside.
Yeah.
So I did no gi with just Brandon and Eric, and Brandon would go and learn jiu-jitsu in the gi at Miles's. It was we were a separate gym then.
So it was in the Twilly, was that?
It was at the Twilly
Center,
yeah.
Still SBY?
Yeah.
So we were upstairs at Live Fit, And then next door was Southside, right? And they were their own whole jiu-jitsu academy. At first, Scoochie wanted nothing to do with MMA.
Right.
Scoochie did not fuck with MMA. He didn't want to have no fighters or nothing like that. Brandon started training under him so he could get belted and get better jiu-jitsu.
Right.
And then when the whole transition thing happened, they had worked out a deal where we just merged together. It was smarter for the business.
Yeah, it was the
It was best thing we ever did. Best thing we ever did.
Gucci.
Scoochie is Miles.
Okay.
Our
sponsor.
the black belt.
I didn't know you called.
Yeah, Scoochie, Uncle Scooch is what.
Okay. I didn't know you called
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, so I was ironically, I first met Brandon. It was the OC Classics in 2017. It was my
Another tournament you were hungover for. You were
No.
hungover for the first one too. He shows up to tournaments hungover.
Yeah.
He's like wiping his eyes and shit. Like it's like 1 PM. And he's like, he'll show up and he's like,
hey man,
I drank way too much last night.
hey man, John Jones did it for every
John
title
Jones
fight.
did it.
John Jones would get blackout drunk the week before and then beat world class people, man. So
He would say that he would do that just so that way if he lost, he could be like, all right, I was partying before. Like,
He's still.
but yeah, so my second jiu-jitsu match ever. Keep in mind, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't really know much.
Yeah.
Dude, I go against it's a no-gi match against Brandon. I didn't know who Brandon was. I was like, this is dude. This has a ponytail, man bun, and then he. It was a 40-second match. I used to have the video of it. I wish I did just for memory's sake. But he immediately tapped me. I did something. He just got me to the ground, got me in this inverted triangle, and just squeezed. And I just like tapped like this.
What was his level then?
He was white belt.
they say Dan used to suck.
I did.
They say that Dan was bad,
That's actually-
like really bad, and
it's
then now he's good, really
Well,
good.
dude,
crazy to
so
think that.
how long did it take for you to get one strike? I always tell people this when new guys are like, dude,
I got my first strike my second night.
I got my first
Second
strike
night.
5 months in. I was not good.
Yeah.
Scoochie probably looked at me and was like, "This guy sucks."
That's
And then in like the end of November, I started in July. The last week in November, I got my first stripe. You know, when I got my second stripe like a fucking year later.
Dude, that's wild. That's wild.
Now you're a fucking purple belt.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and like
one of the best
like,
in the school.
almost 6 years. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, I mean, it all comes down to, and that's something I learned over time, is like you have to actually like. I used to think up until I got to like mid blue, I was like, well, if you just show up, you're gonna get better.
Yeah.
No, that's not how it works. You got so I started at mid blue. I hit a plateau, and I was like, dude, why am I like everyone was passing me, and I felt like I sucked. And then you just realize, well, what am I doing every day when I come in? I'm trying to hit my best shit.
Yeah.
And then I leave.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I'm really not progressing I
Not
went
that you
in.
Need to work on.
Yeah, focused on my holes and focused. Then it sucked at first because I wasn't good at it, so people would maul me. But then, like after 5 or 6 months, that payoff was nuts.
Yeah.
Because I started doing like a lot of shit that I wasn't good at,
bet.
and then I got my blue belt 2019 in March, and then I think the first stripe I got like a year and a half later. I was not good, and then I went from a 1 stripe blue to getting my purple in like 8 or 9 months.
Dang. That's crazy.
That's fast.
Because
I
I
had my
started-
blue belt for a long time.
Yeah, I did
You
too.
just got your purple belt, right?
I had my blue belt for 2 years.
When you
Almost.
get your purple belt?
Right before I fought Eric, the week I fought Eric, the week I fought Eric, I got my purple belt.
Okay. So like earlier this year.
Yeah, January, and that was 3 years in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's solid.
But yeah, I mean, you got to go in every day with the mindset of like, all right, what do I suck at? Like the past like 6 or 7 months, all I've been
or
doing
4
is-
years.
the past 6 or 7 months, all I've been doing is just like stuff on the bottom because it's shit that I was like, this stuff sucks. I want to be on top of people smashing them
Yeah.
or like submitting people. And it's like, all right, I'm going to work on my bottom game. But then it got to the point where my bottom game is like skyrocketed better.
Yeah.
And now like when I'm on top, it makes my top game better because it's like, I don't care if I get put on the bottom because I'm going to get back. Like, I don't give a shit.
Personally, coming from somebody who don't do jiu-jitsu, I actually prefer being on my back.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why.
I think I rolled with you once like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
You
No,
like
it wasn't 3 years ago. I've only been in the gym.
like 2
Yeah.
years ago or so.
Probably last year, because I don't really do jiu-jitsu a lot, but I just do it enough to stay afloat. You know.
Your
You would
whole
be
your whole
really
dynamic
good.
is just funny. Like the fact that you're even a corner. You corner me, and you never even had an MMA fight.
I know.
You don't do jujitsu. You really never even had a stand up fight while cornering me until just recently.
Mm-hmm.
And we just be making it work. Like people don't understand. I'm like, bro, Nobody's fucking with what I got to work with, bro. Like I have some Brandon who started a gym in a fucking attic, like fresh out of prison, and
Fresh out of prison.
and then I got another coach who don't even know, like just started the fucking sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we're out here winning championships, dude. So it's like it just goes to show, like you just got to have the right minds in the right room, and
That's it.
shit gets busy. So
Apply yourself in the
So
results for
I
sure.
have to know too, because I actually don't even know, how did you get involved with all this? Because I actually don't know. I was thinking about it when he was talking about it before this, and I was like, I don't remember. I remember Chunky just showed up one day.
he was talking shit
So it's
because he's an athlete. He knew he could do something.
It's actually funny how I got into it. So I've always been into like fighting per se, just not like the MMA stuff. I like watching it, but I never wanted to be kicked in the face or kneed in the face or elbowed in the face, anything like that. So when I was a kid, my dad put me in karate, so he says, and I went and I had one class, and he says I came home and tried to kick him. And he said he pulled me out the next day, so I quit karate. But
What did he expect?
I don't
You're a
know.
child
I
learning
mean,
karate. Of
literally.
course, you're gonna go and kick
You know
him.
what I mean? So anyway, so I as I got a little older, I was into Mayweather's era. Like that's when I was like real big into boxing. So like I would go to Powerhouse. Then they had the bags,
The heavy
in gym.
bag.
Yeah, I used to go in there, use their gloves, and I would just train on the bag. Not that I was in there doing things that I knew what to do. I would just go in there just so I could like punch on the bag and stuff. And then Justin, I became best friends with Justin and
Justin Martin.
Justin
Yep.
Martin, yeah. And Justin was like, "Yo, Chunk, you really should come to the gym." I was like, "All right, man, I'll come." And I'll be honest, I don't think you were there when I came.
No, but you never came in because he gets on you all the time.
No,
He's
I
like, you
did.
started training when
No.
Taylor told you to.
Before you came, I probably came to when he was in the toy center. I probably came there about 5.
Oh,
or 6
okay,
times
yeah, that was
in a
before
row.
I started going there. Then
Yeah, so
I never went to the toy center except twice.
Yeah, so I came there with Justin, and I actually used to go there with Justin, and I would roll. And every time I came, he would never make me pay. Brandon never made me pay to like play or
Pay to play.
Yeah, participate. So I would get in there and I would roll with or whoever was in there and stuff. And I remember rolling with Sean and thinking like, damn, he's hard as fuck to roll with because he's so big he could use his weight on me and stuff. But anyway, so that transferred into me or everybody coming over to SBY at Pure. So then that's when Justin was still going. He still tried to convince me going. And I remember me and Taylor became friends off of this situation. He was trying to get he got a bike.
I got a motorcycle.
And he was trying to get his
I
permit.
see. Yeah.
And Justin, first of all, and I think I was a cop then at the time. Anyway.
you still are.
Well, I'm saying like because that was a while ago, so I was a cop at the time, and I did not know that this was a thing. Come to find out, it wasn't. But Justin told me that I could get my permit online. I'm like, online? He said, yeah, Taylor did it. I said, well, I'm gonna reach out to Taylor.
That sounds like how you
they're all reaching out to me. I lied like a motherfucker because I
That
didn't.
sounds like how you get
I thought
credit
they were.
card
I thought they were.
information.
I thought they were on to me because I knew he was a cop.
Yeah.
And yo sent me a DM talking about how'd you get your license. I'm like, bro, you got yours. Why are you worried about me? What? Why are you worried about me? So I said, oh, I got it online.
Dude, you're coming to 19-year-old Taylor with law questions.
Literally, he was all sketched out, right?
I was sketched out, bro.
So I hit him up about that, and
Then they both hit me. Oh yeah, you hit me up, and I was like really sketched out. I'm like, why are both these motherfuckers pressing me about my goddamn motorcycle license? I'm here, I'm riding. Just know that. Like,
I think what's funny is when he told me that, I said, Justin, he just lied to you. That is not a thing. This is before I even reached out to you. I said, that is not a thing. You cannot get your permit online. It's not possible. So he was like, I'm telling you, he did. And he was like, look, he showed me his bike and everything. He was like, I'm telling you, he did. So I reached out to him, and he thought I was like trying to like get him caught up or something, but I was really trying to find out.
Easy pickings.
Right. I was trying to get my license at the time. So
I thought I was trying to get locked up, and I was like, not me, not this fool, yo, not me.
He funny. So I ended up hitting him up, and obviously, it was,
Well, now everybody
it was a dead
fucking
end.
knows.
It was a dead end. You know what I mean? Because he didn't do it. So I ended up getting my permit. That's besides the point. But that also sent me into starting with training. And then I started training.
Well, we became friends,
yeah, we became
and I started
friends.
finally pressing you to come in because you were talking shit.
Well, because initially my thing was I didn't want to have to pay for a membership because I didn't know how committed I was going to be. So then I started coming. I ain't gonna lie. I think I probably came for a few weeks before I even started paying to come. And I trained, and then I was just like, man, I'm here. And I told Brandon, I said, I'll sign up. And I remember I signed up, signed a year contract. And I just started training, man, literally. And I, bro, looking at videos when I first started to now,
Dude, that's what I always tell people. I'm like, get as many pictures and videos as you can because looking back at those is so much fun. I wish I had more.
Bro, I wish I could show y'all because y'all haven't seen me when like day one. Like a roundhouse from me day one. You would have been like, first of all, you'd been like, what the fuck are you wearing?
Yeah.
Second of all, you'd been like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And now you're like, you guys are learning the shit from me. So I'm like, yo, it's funny. It's wild, dude.
I think it was cool for me though because like so it's weird the way my brain works with physical stuff like any sport and stuff like that. I can literally typically watch it and then pick it up pretty quick. Yeah. So and speaking of that, I remember watching a jiu-jitsu class that Sean was teaching, and I was not participating. I was just watching after I had trained in the morning with him, and then the next day I took jiu-jitsu class and I executed that. Move that he was teaching on someone that I didn't even do. I just ran my mind through it. But yeah, man, and then I just kind of kickstarted how me training and then him holding mitts for him and stuff. Because nobody wants to hold mitts for him. Like, so I just kind of had to force myself to learn more stuff. You know what I mean? So like, and then learning, I learned by training people. I learned by watching, and I learned by doing. So, yeah, I needed somebody who was going to be big and strong enough to take my shots on the pads because Brandon hated it. He didn't want to do it. He's my head coach, and then Vince was like over the bridge, so that was like I had to go over there once a blue moon to get work with him. And like I was like, bro, I feel like at this level, and I'm watching it from all these high level guys that like if I'm at the level where I'm about to turn pro, like I need to be hitting pads weekly easily, like every single week, at least twice, 3 times a week. Like if anything, like my goal is every day. Like when I turn pro, if I'm in the UFC, I'm hitting pads every day. I want to stay sharp every day. I don't care if it's even like 15 minutes. Like that's it. That's the workout for the day. 15 minutes pad work real quick, bam, bust it out. Because I just feel like it keeps you sharp. It keeps you in shape. You know, it's super exhausting. So it's like, it's one of the best things in my opinion. Brandon like frowns upon it because of the fact that like he's like people just have to get their technique down right first. But I'm like, really the next closest thing to fighting is pad work. You know what I mean? You're simulating the fight. It's more real.
You're more real with the cardio, with the shots. And like I agree with Brandon, but at the same time, I'm more on the side of like technique is great, but at the end of the day, like you can have great technique, but you just don't like you haven't experienced what it's like to have to really dig through rounds and like crack on pads and get exhausted and like their technique goes all out the window when you get there anyway. So it's like whatever. Just I'd rather you be tough and physical than be super technical and soft. You know what I mean? So
especially because because we can all 3 of us can say this here that we've all been in the cage in some capacity. I mean, you decided to end it early, so fuck you. But wouldn't you agree that it gets tiring in there?
I mean, yeah, it's fucking.
Well, I'm saying like
you know when they lock the door that you're not leaving here until you're tired. You're like, even if you get a first round knockout, you're like,
see, Chunky had shit to do.
Chunk was like, I'm trying to go drink.
Literally, go back and party.
So like. The aspect of it I'm trying to say is that when you're tired, like a lot of it goes out the window. So it's all. So I understand what you're saying is trying to practice it so it's perfect. So when you are tired, and Brandon's big on that, and he's like, like I'm big on just like, man, just if like Nosa wasn't technical, but Nosa was physical. Like Nosa was a problem. He was hard to deal with. There's guys like that where they're just tough, they're strong, and they're just not soft. Like they're not afraid to get hit, they're not afraid to get down and get dirty. And those are the guys that I trust going into fight before I trust a guy who's technical. There's a lot of guys who are really technical, but they get their fucking asses whooped. You know what I mean? It doesn't you don't have the dog in you, and I feel like pads brings that out. It shows like if you're gonna dig deep and like really want to get through this round, and it also it spikes the cardio the most, and it's the most realistic besides sparring. So like bag work, it's not the same. None of it's the same.
I think a lot of it too comes from the background as well. Like, 'cause I feel like a lot of my toughness came from my background. Like, I just had this thing where if you do something to me, I got to do it back to you.
Yep, I'm the same way.
So like, it doesn't matter if you crack me. Hey, I'm gonna crack you back. So be waiting for it. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. So then that's how I told him I needed a pad holder, and he was like, all right, well, like it sounds fun, and like he actually enjoys doing it. That's the cool part. So he started learning how to hold pads, and then next thing you know, where he picks things up so fast, it was just like within 3 months, like we were on fire. Like it was just everything was on point. The timing was down. He knows what to do. He knows what to call. He knows what to look for, to work on, shit like that. So he picks things up better than everybody else. Like you watch, it sucks, but like damn, you watch some of everybody else hold pads. It's like.
Yeah. Listen.
It's hard. It's hard. It's like it's frustrating. I'm getting more frustrated trying to just work one combination for the whole round, trying to teach somebody, hey, look, this is how you hold a 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? With him, it was like 1 rep, 2 rep, 3 rep. Okay, I got it. Cool. Bam. There it is. He's got it locked in. Pop, 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 pop. You can catch, and it's just it was beautiful.
Look, and I think the funny part about me holding mitts was like I was used to Mayweather style. Like I was used to that going like that running stuff.
Yeah.
But that's not practical every time you hold mitts because that's
Especially for MMA.
You know what I mean? That's not drilling. That's cardio. That's all that is. So thinking about and watching myself hold mitts for him because we got videos when I very first started holding mitt. Bro, it's atrocious.
I love how when you would hold a combo and then you would like do the same like little shimmy in between. You would like jog to the other side, turn around completely, roll your hands and be like, go. Like,
look, yo, it's so funny to think about, man. Like, and now, like, I can just like bang them out. You know what I mean? And they're crispy, as opposed to then. I remember I tried to think about combinations to give you to do. I couldn't think about a lot of combinations because like my mind was just focused on trying to just give them work, as opposed to like having like cool combinations. But now because I do them all the time, you know what I mean? It's just secondhand for me. I can just call them out. So that's actually kind of cool to think and look back on too.
Dan don't even hit pads. That's the crazy.
Listen,
I just watch film.
I remember.
Dan never hits pads.
Bro, he held pads for me, and it was like,
yeah. Listen, I remember in Pennsylvania actually, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, he got on the pads. The first couple, I think the first combination I called was like a 1-2. I said, oh yeah. He can be tired now.
That cardio is different.
It was a 3-minute round. He was cracking.
I remember that.
He was cracking the pads, yo. It was so
hey, bro,
funny.
if you're not trying to get him out of there in 1 minute, you ain't trying. Hey, cardio's for pussies.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You either get him out of there in the first round or you lose.
That's it. 37 seconds. That's what we do.
I mean, with me, I just don't do it enough. I just don't have the time. But a lot of it too is I had a lingering shoulder issue for like forever.
Yeah. I remember that. That was a bitch for you for a while.
Yeah, like I would work and like I'd leave sparring nights where I would drive home like this, not because I'm trying to look cool.
It was
like
your jab arm, right?
Couldn't. Yeah, it was my jab arm. Yeah. I started trying to learn southpaw for a little bit because I was like, well, then I'm going to throw it.
He couldn't even keep his left hand up more than a round.
Yeah,
like he would have to just have it hanging down here.
Well, yeah. So yeah, I didn't know. I thought it was
have that problem.
It's a lot better now. I thought it was a torn part of my rotator.
You know what his shoulder said? His shoulder said, oh, "Damn, I'm getting tired of getting hit with overhand right."
Dude, it's funny.
He said, "Damn, I'm getting tired of getting cracked with overhand right. So let me just get a little bit in there. Let me get a little."
It's funny too because like I could like max out on shoulder lifts fine, and then as soon as I start just
punching,
throwing this jab, it just died.
Yeah.
And then I think what happened was I had like one thing I learned from working in physical therapy and like gaining more knowledge of that is like I think I had a muscle imbalance in my back.
Okay.
Like in my shoulder, like in my back, like my traps that went down. Like you know how one thing it's the the chain.
Yeah.
One thing gets fucked up and then it's gonna fuck up other stuff.
Yeah.
So once I started really focusing on like muscle imbalances, it got a lot better. And I had like a major weakness in this shoulder.
Okay.
I think a lot of it was tendonitis too, and I learned some exercises. It's a lot better now.
Yeah.
I haven't really tested it with pads.
Yeah.
Because after that one with you, man, how can I get better?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll stick to the grappling, man.
Yeah, it was kind of cool though to see Dan get on the pad.
Yeah, that's like the thing.
Not often you see.
My hands are ass, but my kicks can can do work.
You got some power in them legs, boy.
So I got all the hip flexibility in the world. I can question mark kick from anywhere. I can kick up to like 6'4".
Yeah.
And then as soon as you tell me to throw 1-2, man, it just all goes out the window.
Daniel just literally blast like 7 kicks back to back. He was sparring Louis, and he's just like staying at kick range, and he just Dan keeps kicking him. I'm like, Louis, like punch him, like walk in and start punching. Stop. He's gonna keep Dan threw like 4 or 5 different kicks in a row. He was like left leg kick, right body kick, left body kick, right head kick, left head kick. I was just like Louis hit him, like box him. You can't just play his kick game.
I pulled one question mark kick that night on Wednesday.
Yeah, I remember that one. You come right across his cheek with it.
It's beautiful. That's the only kick. That's the only like strike that I feel confident with.
You actually broke me out of the habit of when people would throw head kicks, right? And it helped me with Eric Chase. When people would throw head kicks, you remember for a long time I used to get frustrated because you catch me.
Well,
because I would fade back like this. Like I would go shell and like kind of like try to let it slide off my shoulder. I wouldn't try to block it. I would just be like, oh, and he would still land it. And a lot of motherfuckers would miss it. They would like just couldn't get it up there.
Yeah.
Well, he started landing it and he would frustrate the fuck out of me. And then I started working on it. So every time a high kick would come up, I would go high guard and try to catch it, right?
There'd be sparring nights.
Or go underneath of it.
I remember like this is like going back a little bit. Like there'd be sparring nights where I'd land it. I just hear it go like, fuck.
Yeah. We're mid round and he would land that bitch. I'm like, fuck. Because I would be waiting for it and I still wouldn't see it.
Well, I pull all my head kicks because, you know, if you land a head kick in sparring, you're a dickhead. If you like full force it. So I pull it a lot.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you gotta pull it. Because what Eric has showed a lot. He would throw that head kick and I was just right under. I was like, I've seen that 1,000 times. But look at this picture right here, Dan.
I think I know which one.
There's a picture of you doing it, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it this way. Look.
Yeah, I remember that picture.
Oh
Yeah, that shit right there. Yeah. And that's why I was like, dude, he landed like 3 times that night. Yeah. And then the photographer's there, so I was hot. I was like, fuck. Like, I'm not letting this motherfucker land no more right head kicks. And he follows it with the right hand, like Leon Edwards. And I'm just like, I know he's gonna do it every time, and he would still hit me, and I was just like,
yeah. For me with the striking, just because I like don't have enough time to do it, like training consistently, I would watch like a ton of film on like. Because I'm sure, do you watch a lot of film now that you're holding pads and stuff, just to like expand your?
Wait, hold up. We are the only film watchers in our school. Brandon, none of them watch a film like us. There's a few of them, but like, I mean, I'm talking like when people who actually go watch tape, like go pull a whole set of fights from one fighter, watching everything that he does, and then stealing his good shit.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of my whole head kicks that I do originally was from watching Crow Cop, Mirko Crow Cop, Pride FC, UFC guy.
Yeah, no, you got that Crow Cop kick.
Yeah, so
you love him.
He was like my favorite guy to watch, him and Fedor, because I was like, this dude's sick. Yeah. He just lands all these head kicks. So I kind of learned it from that. And then to segue off of that, I was watching in terms of like, you just look for people who are good head kickers, like Donald Cerrone. He has one setup that I do in the gym a lot where
they call it the Cerrone.
You fake like a body, you fake like a lead body hook. You come up and do fake a 2, but you're like using the 2 to push, and then you just throw a head kick. I land that one so much.
3-2, follow the 2 with the head kick.
Another one is it's a Robert Whitaker one. If you watch a Robert Whitaker fight, the combo, me and my buddy, we call it the Bobby, because it's literally a 1-2 roundhouse, but the 2 is a push.
Okay.
I mean, it's a pretty basic combo, but Robert Whitaker lands it. In every single fight, he lands that combo.
St. Pierre had a combo.
Have you seen the modification I did to it with you? I got it from you.
What?
So when you do that push right hand head kick, right? And I started thinking about it, and I was like, yeah, that's nice. It hides it, but like, I feel like I can do something with this. And I've done it to you a couple times. You've seen me do it to other people. I don't think I've done it to you. Is where I throw my right hand out, but I don't actually throw it like a punch. And I grab their hand.
Oh, yeah.
And I pull it down. And as I'm pulling it down, I head kick over top of it. Yeah. Like I stuff their leg between my legs and just kick them in the head. Yeah. Works every fucking time.
Yeah, he landed that on me.
Their leg or their arm?
Their arm. So I grab. And we're up.
Do you want another one of those?
Yeah, I do.
Because I want another one too. I'm gonna go.
You can't just leave the episode. Look. We got 10 more minutes. You can have one. 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. Then you can have your Sunny D seltzer.
I wasn't sure the time on this.
I'll keep it short and sweet. You know, okay. We got Nosa here, but yeah, I'll take the time right now. We're gonna give another shout out to our sponsor of this episode is Miles Moffett Construction. That's the guy for seal coating, crack filling, line striping. You can do basketball courts, parking lots, warehouses, all that kind of stuff. Anytime you see a line on the ground, it's probably Miles who put it down there. You know, he stripes belts and he stripes the ground, so that's what he does.
Hey,
shout out to our professor in black belt, Miles Moffett.
Hold up, that's not it. That's it.
No, it's not it.
Oh,
yeah, it's not it. We're not done.
I just had a couple. questions.
No, we're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you guys go. I just wanted to. I gotta throw that in there.
Okay.
And now, the floor is yours, sir.
All right. I just want to know how you feeling. That's all.
How I'm feeling.
Yeah. You got a big day coming up, brother.
Yes, I do.
June 24th.
The last AMI walk. I don't even realize we don't really talk about like what's currently going on with our shit right now. But yeah, I got a fight coming up. 170 title fight against Will Brown. Let's go, Will.
Let's go, Willie. Bringing it to you, boy.
Yeah, we've been working hard, working on a lot of good shit. I'm excited to showcase my skills once again. I'm really excited just to get in there. It's been a while. I feel like I've had a little bit of a layoff, and then I had the injury, and I'm just kind of ready to just fucking get violent. Hear a crowd scream my name. It's a great feeling. Yeah. So, are you ever gonna take another fight?
I mean,
unless it's short notice, man. It has to be short notice.
He's a 2-week guy.
So 2 weeks. Now,
you need a 2-week 85 and up. Let me know.
The only way
I got you.
Top it is the night before, man. That's what we got to do next.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
always got to be ready.
I seen this guy lose 20 pounds pretty much overnight. So if he can do it, I know anybody can.
Dan took a day notice cage
Bro,
jiu-jitsu grappling match, but it was still a cage fight on a day notice with a guy who was ready for a fight.
Yeah,
that was cool.
He was training for 8 weeks.
You were about to piss yourself in the back. I remember that,
bro.
Yeah, I remember that. I was like, I couldn't think. I was just thinking about. I was like, dude, Dan. I know. I would say. I looked over at Brandon. I'd be like, Brandon, Dan is so nervous. He's so nervous,
bro. I remember Brandon's like, "What are you doing? Do some push-ups or something." I started doing some push-ups. I was like, "Yes, sir." But he was training. That guy was training for 8 weeks, and I definitely was not training for like 8 weeks. I was not anywhere near in shape. But what I try to tell the guys too is like, if you can go into a hard situation and be like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm going to find a way to just squeak this out or come out with the win. So, like, obviously, I was out of shape. I'm like 185 right now. I was like 205, or I think I was like 197.
I think it was about to say
195, 197. Yeah. So, and I was a chunky 197. Yeah. I was, and I had just driven to West Virginia to get tattooed like 2 days before. Yeah. Even then, I was like, fuck it. Yeah. And then, like, the morning of, we were doing a shakeout, like, at Open Mat. I threw up. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck am I doing, man? Like, it just hit me. It all hit me. I was like, fuck. And then we got there. I was like, you know what? Fuck it.
You threw up at the shakeout?
Yeah. Bro, it was nerves, and like I had coffee on an empty stomach too.
Yeah.
And then we drove there.
Never have I ever.
We drove there. And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good. And we got into Harrington. I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah. Dan was like, why the fuck that? He walks into the venue and sees the cage and he's like, why the fuck did I do this shit?
Yeah, but it was, I definitely changed me, like that experience, because I got like a lot of adversity to overcome because like, I really was not training.
It's a life changer. It's a life changer.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing like getting in a motherfucking cage.
Nothing like it, bro.
Especially like the walkout too is like it was pretty lit.
Listen, man, I'm telling you, bro. This past experience for me, it was just crazy, man. Like I kind of narrated to them like my whole day, like what my whole day looked like. I will say going into the fight, I probably was a little dehydrated. Mm-hmm. I told him I was worried about drinking too much water and having to keep using the bathroom. So
that's part of fight night. I pissed like 15 times on fight night.
But I was kind of just sipping water.
The bathroom was my home. It's like 20 times.
So I was kind of just sipping water, man. But like the morning I woke up, bro, like first off, let's just start by saying I went to sleep on a fucking full ass stomach, bro. I felt so good to eat, like, and then going into the shakeout, bro. Like, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I felt very sharp. I don't know how you felt like I looked, but I felt very sharp. You know what I mean?
You seemed real focused.
Yeah.
I think that you believed that's why everything happened the way it happened. You believed in the plan. Yeah. You believed in what I told you.
Yeah.
You even told me that night, the night I called you about the fight, you were like, I'm gonna believe whatever you want to, like whatever, like when we were working out that night and you were like, whatever your insight is, I'll believe it.
Yeah.
And it seemed like you were really trusting of that. You were also trusting of your abilities and you were also enjoying it.
Yeah.
Like you were enjoying like, all right, I'm going to have fun tonight.
Yeah.
Like you were smiling, laughing. Like that was a different, it took me like 6 fights before I could get to that point. Like, being in the back and shit. And that's what I was about to ask you and shit is like, there's one thing being in the crowd and being at a fight and you're like, yes, this is sick. And there's one thing when you walk into the back and it's like that.
Different.
You walk into a whole new bubble.
It's pretty quiet.
It's a whole new bubble. Everybody's on a different mindset, different page. Like it's like you go from, let's get fucked up, grab his dick and twist it, to like you just feel everybody's on ready to just like at any moment it feels like the Holocaust is about to start or some
Literally.
crazy shit.
Yeah,
Like
you
you're
can
just
cut through it with a knife, man. The
yeah.
tension's so
There's some tension
just
back
there.
there, and everybody's just kind of eyeing everybody up and like.
And then another thing too is like you see other people come back from their fights.
yeah,
too.
you see
And
some eyes that come back and they're just like fucked up.
Yeah.
literally.
Fucked up. Can't even see out their right eye, like barely walking, crying, whatever it may be. You're just like,
dude, it's a whole different.
this
vibe
shit's
back
real.
there.
This shit's real.
And then it's like next.
yeah, straight up. Everybody else outside just doesn't care. Oh, next guy, right?
That's
You
it.
don't see what goes on back there.
Oh, not
So
at
like,
all.
I know for you, the first time because you saw my first 2 fights outside,
Yeah.
and then you finally experienced one in the back, but that was still like not the same environment. And then then the Eric one was really cool, like
Yeah,
because we were having fun, we were enjoying it, but we were also tense because like it was a big night. It was a big moment
Very,
for me.
very
That was a big opportunity for me to put somebody down who had a big name to him. It was a big ticket seller, great fighter. Like it was a big moment for myself, and so I feel like we all felt that. So we all kind of were like we were really focused and locked in and ready to just handle business and take care of it the way it needed to be done.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm actually just I'm actually thankful to have Taylor because I think if it wasn't for Taylor, I probably would have been forced to be in the back. Brandon wanted me to come back probably like after the second fight. Like he didn't even want me out in the crowd. And I'm just like, personally, mentally, I just don't want to sit back here.
Yeah.
Because
Everybody's different.
when
You're a lot like me.
Right. So when I go back here, like my mind is on one track now.
Yeah.
I'm locked in, but now you talk about energy that I'm wasting on being locked in because I'm so
Yeah, it feels like a box back there. I
Yeah,
felt that
yeah.
like I needed to go out, and obviously mine wasn't like actual fight. but
Right.
I needed to go out there.
Your body is still responding to it the same way.
Yeah. So I
For
needed
you,
to
it's a
go
fight.
back.
For you, it's a fight.
literally.
Yeah, so you need to go out there and just at least for me, I need distractions. I don't know if you
Yes.
felt the same
Yeah,
way.
I felt the same way.
That's why I don't sit back there.
Yep.
I don't sit back there.
So look, I was actually sitting by Matt, and this was, I think it was right around like fight number 5 or 6, and Matt, he was already agitated with people because they kept coming over there trying
Talking
to talk
to you.
me like, yo, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, and he didn't like that because he wanted me to be focused, which I was pretty focused. I was just watching the fights and just chilling with Justin and Matt. You know what I mean? And then the next fight after that, he was like, yo, Chunk, you really got to go. And then Brandon came and said, yo, this your last fight that I can watch out here, and then I got to come to the back. And then I came to the back, and guess what? I came to the back, I changed my gear, and from that moment that I stepped foot back there, it was another 6 fights, but I was still locked in.
Yeah.
Or another 5 fights, and I was still locked in. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to be locked in for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Dude, if you really count the guys who go in after the face off, they go back there before doors open.
yeah, that's a
They don't leave. They don't leave until they walk out
right,
from when the moment the doors open.
that's
It's
a
like
long.
Well, and then it's
Yeah,
like a
nah.
rolling schedule too, because like I remember for mine, I was like, all right, like there's 2 fights in between. It's like 10 minutes, probably with the extra time with the walk.
Yeah.
It's probably like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's like a first round knockout. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck. It gets rolled down a lot. So it's like, yeah, it's just a whole.
Speaking of that, man, it was so surreal for me because I remember being in the back and Brandon, he had a game plan and he wanted me to execute it. So I'm like cracking.
Wait, hold on. Before you dive on this, start with the whole fight story itself. Like
How it started?
start where we took the fight on 2 weeks' notice.
Okay.
Your first fight,
All right.
you never nothing. It was you were off the couch, didn't even spar for 6 months before that.
Literally.
And I pulled you up for a fight.
So listen, this is actually kind of crazy too because I was in the gym this night training Kayla actually, and Taylor just so happened to be in a good mood, so he held some mitts for me, and we're in the ring. I'm just like training to train. I'm not training to train for a fight, and Brandon's walking by the cage, and he knows how to get me riled up. So he said, "Yo, Chunk, you want to fight?"
I saw this too before the Facebook post.
I didn't even
Before
see
I
it.
started working out with you, I saw it.
I didn't even see it. He said he walks by. He's like, "Yo, Chunk, you want to fight?" I said, "When?" He said, 2 weeks. I said, "Who am I fighting?" He said, "Do you want to fight?" I said, "I mean, let me figure something out." And Taylor,
He said, "Like, give me a name and I'll tell you if I'll fight." And he was
Yeah.
like, "Nah, you gotta just say you want to fight."
so
He was
so-
just testing you. He really wasn't even planning on you fighting.
I
You know that?
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
even crazier. And then
I
Taylor
pushed
was
it.
Like, Taylor was like, don't worry about it, yo. I'll figure everything out, and I'll call you tonight. By the time I got home, he was calling me on the phone on my way home, and he like, "Yo, this who we got." I'm like, "All right."
No, that's not what I said. I called you. I said,
Oh yeah.
I said, Chunky, you gonna knock this dude the fuck out.
Bro, I just remember.
I called. I said, you're gonna knock this dude the fuck out.
When
He did
did
say
they make the card like the promotional
The
picture for
poster
it?
that was like 2 days after we took it.
Yeah, because I remember I didn't know about it, and then like I paused, I'm like, "Oh, Chunky's fighting someone." I was like, "Wait, what? Chunky's fighting somebody?"
Bro, it was quick.
Yeah, that shit was out of nowhere.
It was quick.
I said,
yo.
look. So I said, Brandon was just fucking with him, seeing if he would even take a fight because we've been talking about wanting to put you in there because you're so naturally gifted, and I was like, yo, Brandon was kind of pissed at me about it at first. And he gets pissed at me. He does get pissed at me at times for taking fights for the guys on my own.
Yeah.
I'll do it on my own, and he's always like, "You overstepped me, this and that." But then things go exactly good,
Yeah.
and then he's just like, "All right." Like, he starts to trust my insight. So it was funny because I called Brad. I said, "Who's the guy? What's the weight?" And Brad sent me the guy, and then I said, "I got a guy for him that might be interested. Let me look at his shit." I started watching who he was. I found out, looked into his shit. I was like, "Oh, Chunky gonna end this boy's life right here." So I called up Chunky right away. I said, "If I call Brad right now and tell him that we're taking this fight, are you locked in 100%?" I said, "I'll give you everything you need. Everything you need. I got you. Whatever. I'll get you ready. In 2 weeks, I'm gonna whip your ass right into shape, right off the couch."
Literally what he
Yeah.
said.
And
remember that
I said,
shit, yeah.
"You're gonna go in here. You're gonna knock this boy out in the first round with a right hand." And I said, "You're gonna collect a fat ass check, and it's gonna be the awesomest day ever. And
He
you're not gonna
said
do
that. He
anything."
literally
And that's
said that.
exactly what the fuck we
That's
did.
exactly what
First-
happened.
first-
Dude, I
I said it
remember-
before he got in the cage, and he did it.
Literally, I wasn't even training yet for it, and that's what he
Dude,
said.
I remember one of those sessions too. I think it was one of those Wednesdays. They had you in the cage with a bunch of people, and at the end, you were like on your hands and knees.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Bro, that was the day I was cramping
Yeah,
a lot.
Brandon was
Yeah.
worried about it too. Brandon was like, "Oh, he's not ready. He's not ready. He's this and that." I said, "Listen, the motherfucker don't gotta be ready. Y'all don't know what I know. Like y'all don't know what
Hey,
I know.
that's-
Like
that's one
He
thing-
don't even gotta be ready. He just needs to just get his ass whooped so he feels like he's ready.
Dude, that's one
I just
thing-
want him to feel like he's ready. Your cardio probably wasn't even that great yet.
Yeah,
like
it
it probably wasn't right. Like we did a lot of good shit. Like we trained hard, right? But it was like. I was like, he doesn't even need to be ready. I said, he's gonna fold this dude. The second he hits this guy's not gonna take his power. I just know it. I know it. And that's exactly what the fight. And I said, you're gonna collect the check because you're gonna sell a fuck ton of tickets because everybody wants to see you fight. And it's short notice, so it's even cooler.
Even
It's like this
cooler,
hype thing
yeah.
where everybody's just like, oh fuck, we gotta watch it. It's like last minute. Like there is no time to prepare for this, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the things too. Like being around, like I was a collegiate athlete, being around. There were certain people, man. They would be injured and wouldn't be able to train, and then when it came time to turn it on, they were like overperform too. They'd perform like crazy. So there's those people that can get into that mentality.
Yeah.
Where it's like they don't even need the preparation and they can just go that night.
and I'm
that
not
day.
Chunky
Hey,
sparred twice
I'm about to
before his
say,
first fight
I'm
in
not
6
too-
months. Twice.
Yeah, that's
two
that's
hard
literally
spars.
it. That's literally
Two hard
it.
spars with no pro fighters. Not even you got like one round with me.
Yeah.
One round.
And I think I trained one round with Brandon, and Brandon actually was trying to press the pace because he just wanted to know that I would be able
Yeah, you-
to take.
And
it
you
up.
kept it. You kept it.
And shit, I sparred Brandon. I think we sparred for like 5 rounds that day,
Mm-hmm.
and the last round, boy, we was
Banging.
banging though. we
We privately trained that for that fight too. You didn't take no classes.
Yep, no class.
You didn't take no classes. You didn't take nothing. I would hit you up and say, all right, today at this time, meet me at the gym. We're gonna do this. We would do a cardio session, this and that, some pad work, and then we called it a night. We did that, and he sparred, and we did that for 2 weeks. And fight night came, and we go up to the cage, and right before you walked in, I said, look, just go high low. As soon as he opens up and he shows you that right hook, take his ass home. Send him to the
Now,
underworld.
I want to know from
Send him to the underworld.
I want to know
and-
from your perspective too, from that walkout
All right,
to
so-
the knockout.
knockout.
Yeah.
So like, all right. So when I'm in the back, I was actually I started with him warming up on the pads, and then I went to Scott. And then after I finished that, I knew Brandon already had a game plan for me. And I was actually thinking about it the whole time I was hitting mitts, and I'm like, this is not what I want to do because I was more or less thinking about setting a pace and then having to keep it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I looked at Taylor and I was like, yo, Taylor, I'm not really feeling what Brandon wants me to do. I just kind of want to go out here and fill it out and just kind of like be natural, you know.
You were scared to say that though.
Well,
you like didn't want to say feel it out because you felt like that make you feel like a pussy or something.
I guess
that's what it
so,
seemed like. It seemed like you were like,
I want to download him.
Yeah, it sounded like because you were like, I don't want to go. You were like, I don't want to just start going balls to the wall.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you want to feel him out, just say you want to feel him out.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, and you were like, yeah. And I was like, all right, I trust your insight. Like if that's what you're feeling, because I've been there. I've been in I've been 10 fights in with Brandon, and I know we're like Brandon has a game plan. And I'm like that's a good game plan. I want to do that, but at the same time, like I'm not feeling that tonight, and I could trust my mind and my body. And I have really good fight IQ that I think a lot of people don't understand. Is like I really can see and pick apart somebody very quickly, very easily, and I understand what their weaknesses is and how to attack them.
Yeah.
And that just goes like my background and things that I mean my hobbies and shit like that. I just like I love war. I love tactical. I love breaking things down. And I was just like, nah. I said, yeah, go. I said, that's what you want to do, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
that's what we did. You know what I mean? That's the game plan I went out there with. So as I'm doing that, I know my fight is up. I'm about to go out. So he walked out, and then we're all at the gate. And
I'll just say one other thing too. You definitely had the most fans.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
that bitch cleared out after your fight.
And I'm gonna tell you the even crazier part about that.
you were the main event, weren't you?
No, it's co-main event.
Co-main. You would have thought.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the craziest part, bro. So like, as I'm walking out, right? I hear my cue on the music, and I come out, and everybody is like going crazy, right? I literally got tunnel vision. Like the people that were sticking their hands out for me to hit their hands, I only saw them because some of them, like, they were so close, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, some of them was like right in my pathway to walking. So I was like touching gloves. I didn't know whose hands I was touching. I was just walking down the aisle, bro. And then I get up there and I dap up the guy that's checking the gloves.
Yeah.
The cut man,
Yeah. So I dap him up, and then I dap Brandon up. I dap Taylor. I dap all my guys up, and Brandon asked me if I wanted some water. I got some water, and right now I'm in my own head. I'm just like, yeah, we really about to do this. You know what I mean? Like I'm about to get locked in the cage and go to war. So I go up the steps. I circle around because like. I just feel like I couldn't sit still.
I knew it was yours when you circled. When you circled the cage like John Jones, like I was like, it's his cage tonight.
Yeah. I'm telling you, bro, like I just felt it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know how some people they get on the stage and they kind of just get shy or they like kind of step down. That's not me, you know what I mean? Like I got to show my presence. I got to make it me, you know what I mean? So I did my little circle around the ring, and I was like, yeah, I'm in here, bro. I'm in here. When that bell rung, I said, this is what we doing, you know what I mean? And then we going through the fight, and I was telling him, when I threw that lead head kick, I didn't anticipate his hand being down, and I saw that his hand was down. So
You slept on your speed.
I had to fire that right hook.
I knew that they was all going to sleep on your speed and your power.
How did that feel when you hit him too? Because from what I've been told, I've never knocked somebody out, but I guess both of you guys can answer this question. When you land like a clean strike, doesn't it feel like you didn't even hit him?
Bro, listen.
Nah.
You ever played baseball and hit a ball flush on the meat of the bat?
I wasn't
and
good.
it goes a mile.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it felt like. You literally felt like you didn't even hit him. Like you just.
It just goes through like glass, just
literally,
bam.
It was so clean, man. And then just after watching the video,
I didn't feel the one when I hit Eric.
I believe it.
Yeah, I didn't feel it.
You was in autopilot anyway, bro. You was in autopilot. But yeah, it was just a surreal feeling, bro. Like, and when I hit him, I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know I knocked him out, honestly. Because if you look at the video, it kind of looked bad, but it looked like I was like ready to hit him while he was on the ground. That's not what I was doing, though. That's not what I was doing. But
He just fell right below you.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. And then I didn't really even see the ref call the fight. I just knew he was down. You know what I mean?
You thought he was going to get count.
Yeah, and I jumped on the damn cage. I was hyped, dog. Like my people going crazy, my coaches going crazy.
Scott fucking climbed the cage, bro. Scott,
bro.
I'm right behind Scott, and I'm mic'd up. I'm mic'd myself up for the whole night, so I could like have the audio footage for the cornering, right, with in between rounds. And none of my guys really got any rounds in, so it was like, and his was like 30 seconds, so I didn't even get to get anything on it. And like I get up out of the chair after you knocked him out. I was like, oh. Yeah. And my wire got stuck on the chair. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm like trying to like rip the wire off, right? And break the shit off my damn phone.
Yeah.
And like Scott is like throwing a bucket on me and he's mantling the top of the cage, like just like trying to, he looks like somebody running from the cops.
Literally,
He's
yo.
like belly diving over top of the cage. He gets over there and he just runs in. Like, what's before the ref or anybody even like got in the cage and stopped the fight, really? Scott's in the cage hugging Anthony already.
Literally, yo. It was
Scott-
crazy, bro.
That shit was wild.
And look, this right here is gonna be one of my best memories forever. This picture right here.
That's
Yeah,
clean.
It's gay as fuck, but it's cute.
that shit is crazy, bro. I'm telling you, man. That night was such a surreal feeling, bro. It didn't even feel like it was my life.
In that picture, I was like, we did it. Like, we did it. We did it. I told you. I said, I told you.
Yo, it did feel like my life, man. It was crazy, yo. It was just crazy.
So I can tell you, I can't tell you any of that, but I can tell you how you felt after too.
Relief, bro. I'm telling, like, listen, just to know.
Well, I was gonna say
Like, you hiked Mount Everest. You feel like you hiked Mount Everest.
Bro, like he had gone off with his crew. Like, I mean, he was like the hero, the hero returning home from the battle. And then we're off at a table. I'm like shooting the shit. I ran into some people I knew, so we're shooting the shit. And I look over, like I'm about to leave. It's like 1:20 in the morning, and I see Chunky just dancing by himself,
Drunk as fuck.
This bar's crowded.
That boy was furred.
I was first.
Bro,
I was
the
first.
bar was crowded, but there was this one section where nobody was there, and it was just Chunky, and there was no one there, and he's just dancing to himself, like here, with a drink in his hand.
Yo, listen, right?
And I was like, I'll say bye to him later.
Look, there was a time where 3 of my sisters were there that night. My younger sister Nay, my sister Star, and Tawana, and I remember sitting in the booth with Star because when I get drunk around them, they like protect me, you know what I mean? So I looked at my sister and Star and I said, yeah, don't let nobody else give me a drink. Somebody tried to buy me a drink. She said, no, get them water. Go get them 2 waters right now. I literally drank one of the waters and I knocked one of them over on the table. I don't even remember doing any of this.
Yeah, you was fucked up.
I just know that my sisters made sure Nay and
I didn't
Star
even go
made sure
out.
I
Do you
got
remember
home.
that?
Yeah, I do remember that. And we talked on the phone.
No, I
though.
did. No, I did.
I don't think you did.
No, I didn't. No, that was that. Yeah, that was that night.
We talked on the phone, and I remember
Yeah.
you had a really bad migraine.
I had a migraine and I stuck it up all night. It was bad. It was bad. And I was cornering, screaming.
Even after the fight, I remember he felt so bad. He was like, "Chunk, I love you, bro." He was like one of the first ones.
Yeah, he
to
told-
leave.
I remember he told me, yeah.
'cause
I put my hood up so nobody could see me. Grabbed my bags. I said, I love you. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
But I got to go fucking lay in the dark.
Yeah, literally.
And I had to go shut the lights off, bro. It was bad. But I was pissed about it.
He was pissed because he called me the next day. Actually, we met the next day. He did. We talked about it. He was like upset about not being able to be out to celebrate with us. But I mean, it was cool. Like I understood. You know what I mean? And I think we had a great night. Like man, we've been in bed for 2 weeks training for the fight. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I felt like a good sense of relief. I went and laid into my bed and I was like, I'm Mystic Mac over here. I said that really just happened, bro. What the fuck?
literally, and this guy, he could have wrote this down, put it in a lockbox at the beginning of the camp, and opened it at the end of the camp for everybody to see that he said exactly what was gonna happen, and that's how it unfolded. It was crazy,
And
bro.
that's the moral of the story. I feel like that's what it is.
That's it,
Say what
man.
you're gonna do, and go and fucking do it, man.
That's
That's
it,
what
man.
it comes to.
That's it. Hopefully I can say I'm gonna go shoot par tomorrow.
The fuck.
You're gonna get one in the sand trap, man. First hole.
That literally made it say it.
At least you'll have some Sunny D vodka.
That's it. Cause I'm gonna get some of this. This joint is good.
Well, it has been a fucking great episode. I appreciate having both of you guys on. You know, it was awesome.
for sure.
2 of my favorite people, you know, in my team, in my corner, have them on and tell their stories. It's been an awesome episode. So hats off to you, gentlemen. Dan, before you say your goodbyes to us Salisburyans,
Yeah.
go ahead and is there anything you want to say to anybody could be watching, or anything, any lessons that you've learned from martial arts and being around us, or anything that you feel is important that people need to hear? Go ahead. Yeah, you've been saying some pretty good speeches the past few nights, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the first one is don't let Taylor hit you with his right hand. The only time I've ever been rocked in life
Or
by
Chunky.
anything was a right hand from Taylor, where I there's 10 seconds of my life that I don't know what happened.
I call it the Vince Mosca right. The Vince Mosca, I'll tag you.
It was a right hand, and I was out. dude, I'm a dog, man. I got a chin. I didn't go out, but could not see.
Yeah.
I saw black. I saw the
Could not
void.
see, yeah.
I saw what was coming.
Yeah.
I helped him up. After I hit him, I was like, it's okay.
Well,
Like,
no,
he
so-
collapsed on me, and I like grabbed. I said, it's okay. It's
Well,
okay.
he hit me with the body. He hit like a 2 body shot, and it didn't register.
Yeah.
And then once I came to, I was like, I died. Dude, it was like a movie death.
Yeah.
I'd say the best thing in life is that, just keep grinding, keep working on what you're working on. I'm an insanely impatient person. Like, if I want to, like, I'm in the mentality where if I want to do something, like, I'm going to go out and fucking do it.
Yeah.
So when people are like, oh, well, we got to wait, it's like, so there's times where you have to wait in life, and I'm fucking awful at that. And right now I've been going through a lot of that recently, where it's a lot of waiting and a lot of figuring stuff out, but just to keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing. And, there really is no secret to, I posted this on my Instagram, and I think they quote, Brandon's like, no, that's bullshit. I like what you said in the cage Wednesday, but I said what my high school cross country coach used to always tell me, the secret is there is no secret to getting better.
There is no secret.
If you like, training with a lot of high level guys recently the past few months, especially with the grappling, some elite ADCC level grapplers, I've realized, like, damn, it is like that. Like, they're not doing crazy shit. They're just experts at
fundamentals.
the fundamentals, and then all the stuff they're doing looks crazy because they're so good at step 1 that step 20 is just like, all right, well, let's just keep fucking going.
Yeah.
So it's just always stay humble and always move forward and fucking get that bag.
Hey,
Don't quit.
That's it.
You're going to fail. We all fail. Failure is a part of winning. All the greatest winners fail a fuck ton, I
Even if
promise
the
you.
second
So-
leg of your parlay is out.
Nah,
you can
fuck
still
that.
get it.
Fuck that. Parlays are some bullshit.
You got,
Especially
okay,
UFC.
before we
ones.
leave, you got any predictions for at least the main event this week?
I'm going to go, you know what? I'm going to go the girl upsets Nunez.
I agree with that. I think Aldana could pull it off.
Yeah, she looks tall. She looks mean. I mean, she has a little bit of a weak chin, but I think that the Titan might fall once again, and it is what it is. And I got Charles Oliveira over the Roosh.
See, I got Beneil, man. I don't know. Someone's telling me Beneil's going to get it, but I think that's a really tough fight. That's like a 50-50.
It is a scrap.
he's
It's a
not-
scrap. I just love Charles. I think Charles is a fucking weapon.
He's a savage.
Yeah.
Bro.
He's an assassin,
He's a
dude.
savage.
So,
he's really a savage, man.
but yeah, thanks again, guys. It's been great. It's been a
man.
pleasure.
No problem.
I love you both.
Love you too, brother.
Appreciate
You too, man.
having you on. Dan, we're gonna miss you a fuck.
You guys
ton.
got the beach. I'll be back.
Yeah, you will, and I'll have a guest room for you now.
And
So
remember, he said, those of you at home, do not quit. Do not quit.
that's right.
Keep going. This shit gets better.
Will you take a selfie, man? As gay as that sounds, of all of us, sitting here,
He's
please.
got the longer arms.
This
Just
What's the
stick it like get
This
us
is
all.
our-
Hold up, get us all in
is
it.
our farewell.
Cool.
My
It's a wrap, boys. Thank you, Juice. You're the man. Piece
the
It Together
man, bro.
Studios, the best around.
That's it.
Until the next one, guys. We're out.